on the one hand, you could say, well, tough, unless you can save all your money and unless you can go through it, then, you shouldn't be in the game. But on the other hand, it's like,
but even the banks have lending requirements. There has to be something more to that comment. Property investing can't be for everyone.
I don't know. There are lending requirements, right? So it can't be for everyone because there are limitations on how to get in the game, right? But would you argue then that it is unethical or incorrect for parents to give their kids capital to start their property portfolio? So, well, you didn't save for it. You don't deserve to be a property investor. Like I find that I'm of the view that I want to democratize property investing because I think that more people should be able to get in the game and do it well, and we can create greater levels of freedom and prosperity across our whole country, and that's going to have a huge societal impact. So really struggle with this idea that it's like, unless you've done what I've done, then you shouldn't be there. I agree. There are healthier positions to be in, right? But that doesn't mean that you shouldn't use whatever opportunities you have to move you in that direction. I think it's about understanding the different pathways you can use to get there.
Right. Could property investing be for everyone? Yes, I think it should be open to everyone. The door should be there for everyone. I agree. But I completely look at it and go, for where you're at now, you may be significantly better off focusing on income, earning more. That might be like you're getting fit to go to the Navy SEALs Hell Week. And I think too many people are skipping that step. And I'm going to put it out there. I think that there's a general mentality to silver bullets and a lack of delayed gratification in general, which would have people think that, well, if I can get the money, then I'm suitable, or that's the right move for me. And I dislike that idea, because if no one is necessarily teaching that or having that endeavor, it seems very dangerous, and it seems like people could really get hurt in that encumberment.
Yeah, I agree with the sentiment. I 100% agree with the sentiment, right? I think that there is a propensity towards silver bullets and get rich quick ideas, and there's this propensity towards buy properties, as many properties as you can, as fast as you can, use as much leverage as possible, etc. And that's what leads people to buy, unsatisfactory assets. I know that people will buy apartments and townhouses because they're cheap. Right, because they can, every time they get $10,000 or $15,000, they go buy another property, and you get it at 90% LVR and stuff like that. And it's like, what are you trying to build? Like, what is going on there? Like, what is the thing that you're trying to create? But there's a big difference, I think, between that and someone who is saying, okay, how do I use my current resources to improve my life, and how do I move to a better place sooner? And what can I do now? Now, to say, they should be focused more on income, agreed. But for some people, there are limitations around that as well. Maybe there's less upward mobility in their job. Sure, they could create a second job or start a side business and stuff, but that's not for everyone either. There might be some other limitations around that too. So I don't think it's carte blanche saying no. I think it's about understanding the risk and understanding the strategy.
See, that's so fascinating. I do. I absolutely do. It's like, I know I'm not going to get drafted to the NBA right now. There's clearly, I don't know, about a foot of height limitation in my genetics that would say, maybe not great move. I'm probably not as quick either. I'm never going to run the 100 meters at the Olympics. So I look at that and go, okay, well, this is the hand you dealt. And go, okay, well, let's do the best with where you're at. Like, it would be a terrible idea for me to do Hell Week to play in the NBA or run the 100 meters. Like, I'm not in form, and there's very little I can do genetically to train. I may be Hell Week, but even then I would say I'm past my prime. But I look at that and go, like, there clearly is, like, I don't want it to sound elitist or anything like that, but there's certain things where parameters apply, and I won't lie.
How would you put those parameters in place then? I'm trying to understand, because I'm looking at it from the perspective that, we might have a client come on board who's 25 to 30 years old, has been saving for the last few years, has gotten $50,000 together, wants to use that $50,000 to start getting into the game, wants to buy a property, and they're going, look, it's my first property. I'm gonna get a 90% LVR loan, or maybe it's their second property or whatever, right? But they're at that position there, and they're continuing to save, and they're continuing to move ahead, and they're just using the instruments at their disposal to get themselves ahead. Now, it's not to say that it's a second tier lender. There's like first tier lenders that are doing this kind of stuff as well. So is the problem that you're saying you haven't saved enough, you shouldn't use 90%?
Okay, so you've set a parameter there. This is what I want. I want to be. I want the definition. I'm not claiming I have the understanding right, but again, there's requirements. So in that, there you said $50,000, right, and 25. What if they're 45 and it's $20,000? Does that change it? Should they buy? And then
No.
where's that bound where it's like, okay, this is because I don't feel like anyone's setting this. I feel like
No, okay, this is a very different discussion, though. Like, no, this is a very different discussion. On the one hand, you're saying people shouldn't use 90% LMI because it's just dumb and they shouldn't get into the game. I don't fundamentally agree with that statement. Right?
Neither do I. But okay. I think if you have to get LMI, I think there should be something here going, I really want to make sure this is appropriate.
I agree. Yeah, I know. I 100% agree, right? So I don't think it's a carte blanche of like, oh, yeah, as soon as you've got $1, try and get 10 times leverage on it. Boom. I don't think that should be a mentality. And so what you then implied was like, if someone's only got 20 grand, should they invest in property? Probably not.